Drop the punch. Let's go. It's on tape already. Come on. Okay. Obviously, I had to write down what I had to say. Be here forever, and I'd be emotional.
That's all gone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I wish we were gathered here today celebrating my husband in person for any one of the many great things he was planning to do. Sadly, I've asked you here to help me remember him and celebrate his short yet fruitful life instead. In that short time, he accomplished many things and dealt with everything life threw at him. He put his all into everything he did and was an unstoppable force for good while he was with us. He came to this country with nothing and he managed to move mountains. Since he had known poverty most of his life, Abdul was determined to ease the suffering of the people back in his homeland. He began several charities, and those charities are still ongoing. Kids from his village get to go to school because his efforts have funded teacher salaries for at least the next 15 years. The high school graduates from his village are given room, board, and tuition for higher education. There was an extremely remote village in his province that literally could not get anything, any supplies, any food to them. And Abdul said, no, we can't have that. So he started an ongoing charity, which is probably up to close to $1 million now, collected. And the Yamani people themselves that are here and elsewhere get the supplies and take them themselves into that remote village. The children were literally dying, you know, even the adults, they're on the brink of death, and he saved them from that. He's footed many hospital bills for the sick and dying and has been their advocate. I could go on for hours and still not finish recounting his acts of love and mercy, but Abdul would want me to keep it simple. I married Abdulaziz just 9 days after meeting him, and today would have been our 13th wedding anniversary. I didn't need those 9 days to know he was the one I had prayed for. I knew the moment I laid eyes on him that he was for me. Our life wasn't always perfect, but it was pretty darn great. It's only been 19 days since he returned to our Lord, and I'm still pretty raw inside. 13 years can never be enough time with such a man. I can honestly say that I may never marry again. I'm not sure if anyone could ever measure up to my Abdulaziz. So I've dedicated myself to bringing up our children in the way that he wanted them brought up. I will miss him for the rest of my days, but I get to see him live on in his children. Even his brother's son loved and adored him above all others, and he strives to be like him in every way. He and I have formed a close kinship while Abdulaziz was ill. Our sensitive soul nephew has taken his death very hard. We often pray together online and still do as we now mourn together. I know he will be my constant companion when I go there to visit. I hear that I'm his favorite aunt. And thank you all for being his friends and making him feel welcome here. It wasn't easy for him to start over in a new country, 6,500 miles away from home, from his family, everything he knew. But he worked hard to improve his language skills and further his education, all while working tirelessly to get things done and doing good for the sake of others. The world could really not afford the loss of someone as kind and selfless as he. It's still hard to believe he is really gone. I still listen for the jingle of his keys as he opens our front door early in the mornings when he would get home from work. I still go to text him and then remember all over again. It will just take a long while to adjust, and maybe, just maybe one day, I may be able to reminisce without weeping. If there is anyone who would like to say a few words, share a memory you have, please feel free to come up now. We can form a line if need be. Who's going to say say afterwards, refreshments will be served, but hey, eat up whatever you want, whenever you want. Go ahead. Thank you very much again for coming. If anybody would like to come up now, that would be great. This is,
Hi, I'm Nancy Knight. I have had the pleasure of hiring Abdul to work for us, and he was one of the best hires I've ever made. He had the biggest heart, and I miss him a lot. He was one of the hardest workers we had, and he was so dedicated. He would do anything for anybody. He had such a loving spirit, and even in his illness, he would still come to work when I knew he really shouldn't be, but I didn't have the heart to say, you can't come, you know. I didn't, whatever he could do for us, we'd appreciate. He was the hardest worker. He had the biggest smile. I didn't know his sense of humor as much as his coworker, since I was his boss. So he kept, you know, he had a little different relationship with me, but you know, I miss him all the time, you know, and he was a really great man, and he worked really hard, and he, you know, hearing everything that he's done, and it doesn't surprise me. What a wonderful man, a great spirit, and, you know, heaven's better to have him, but we're certainly not. Anyway, I have he celebrated his 5 years. I just got his 5-year pin. So, I want to give it to Amy, and, you know, as a memory, you know, his 5 years of service with us. And it was a great 5 years. Wish it was 25 or more.
Right now.
Thank you.
thank you, Nancy.